Well, it's certainly been a journey, but here we are, and Michael Tatarski joins me now from Hanoi, Vietnam. Michael, great to have you with us. Now, we know when these leaders met last year, Trump and Kim signed the Singapore Declaration, which many say was high on optimism but low on detail. So what does Kim Jong-un want out of this second summit?
Well, it's a bit of a mystery, to be honest. As always, North Korea is very secretive. Kim Jong-un, of course, does not give interviews. So out of the first summit, it seemed that he was pleased with kind of the vague outline that you mentioned in the intro, denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Now, to Kim, that means removing the U.S.'s nuclear weapons from South Korea, in addition to North Korea getting rid of its arsenal. It's not known what exactly Trump thinks of that, but that ultimately seems to be what Kim wants. Now, whether or not he gets that in the summit is entirely unknown at this point.
Right, and we're obviously talking about this summit, which we're hearing is, of course, a process. So then zooming out a bit, looking at the bigger picture, if a win in the end for Trump is complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, what is the big win then for Kim Jong-un out of that?
Well, for Kim, it would be ultimately the removal of U.S. troops from South Korea. America has tens of thousands of U.S. troops still stationed there, so he wants them gone, and then also an ending of the sanctions that have helped cripple North Korea's economy for decades now. So those two would ultimately be what he wants. That would help North Korea, rejoin or join in the first place the community of nations.
Now, most of the world wants North Korea to give up its nuclear weapons, but North Korea has consistently said it won't until it no longer feels it faces a threat from the US and others. What kind of a threat is Kim referring to?
Well, again, it relates to the U.S. troops in South Korea for the most part. He sees that as something of an existential threat to his country. Those troops have been there since the end of the Korean War in the early 1950s. And of course, he's also not pleased about U.S. troops and forces being in Japan, in addition to Japan's military and the close alliance that the U.S. has with both Japan and South Korea. He sees that trifecta as a massive threat, and that's what he ultimately would like to try to get rid of through these talks like this.
All right, Michael, thank you for that insight. Of course, it's going to be an interesting summit, and all eyes are there in Hanoi, Vietnam.